Have a look how picture postcard that is, folks. And look at the contrast to this dirty blob here that's flying over my head that we're getting these rain bombs from. I mean, this should be picture postcard perfect. It should be beautiful. But then you look into it carefully, look beyond the cloud and into this shroud, folks, down below into these flat bottom clouds. And this stuff here is feeding this round blob here. I don't know if it makes sense to you folks, but this here is lifting up, being sucked into this cell here. Whatever it is, folks. I'll zoom in slowly and perhaps may be able to see what I'm saying. You can see it lifting from that end and going up. As this thing gets bigger, you see all this filling in here. And I say rain bombs, folks, look at it, look at the contrast. And now this one cell here is now feeding this. This is turning black. And then at some point we'll get 10 seconds of this, like someone's tipped the biggest bucket of water ever in one fell swoop, and it comes down and it lasts between 8 and 10 seconds and then it's gone. You can feel the temperature drop dramatically. Even though the sun might be out, yeah, it can be lovely and warm 1 minute, and then Debbie will say to me, the temperature's dropping. You can feel it instantly. In 30 seconds you can feel it going. So we know that this is being controlled, contrived and manipulated via how we tell you to do it, folks. And then all hell breaks loose for these bombs, as I call them. These, what they call them themselves, these weather bombs. Dame Wigginton calls them that. Right, so I've lost a dog somewhere. I've got one here, she's off the leash today. Oh, he's in the field here. Anyway, I'm going to get him back now because at some point in the next 10-15 minutes we may get this. It may move over and bomb someone else. And it's not just me, other people are telling me they're experiencing the same thing. They're going from hot weather to almost freezing weather in less than 15, 20, 30 minutes at most. Noticeable. You know, it's just ludicrous. All this stuff's formed in the same area, and look at the contrast. Look at it. Look how dirty this one here is when I zoom in on it. It's not shadowing from the sun. The sun is way over there on its way, fucking down the other side of the earth, folks. You know, I'm no weatherman, but I think I've got a good explanation for what it is, and the weathermen haven't. You get in touch with the weathermen and they refuse to even respond. They never, ever comment on this fucking huge elephant in the room, folks. They don't. They used to do years ago, when these lines that I show you left from these aircraft, you see the remnants of one here, yeah, when they segment themselves up into these cotton wool shapes, they give you all kinds of fucking excuses for what it was. They called it bubble cloud, folks. And those of us that knew and understood that lie, you know, we didn't even find it funny. Fucking bubble cloud. They stopped using that phrase. But these things here you see there, these weird grey looking things, They're carrying this water. They are synthetically created, and when they are pulsed, when they are frequenced, with these systems I tell you about, folks, they just drop the fucking lot. Everything they've got. And it's full of fucking snot. And then this one line here is now branching off into two. It's being pulled apart at that end there, if you look. It's like a fork effect. We've got some more of this grey shit coming over. And it's easily done, folks. They drop their component parts, their particulates of things like silver iodides into cloud, into moisture. And these silver iodides and aluminiums and such attach themselves to water molecules, yeah? And because of these heavy metals of strontium-90, barium, lithium, aluminium oxides, cadmium, graphene, that becomes graphene hydroxide, they can then be pulsed and frequenced and then beam steered into positions and then instructed to drop their fucking payload, folks. You couldn't make it up, folks. Anyway, like I say, look at it there. It's branching off into two ways now. And then we have the glowing end of it there. So yeah, this is not weather, but it is climate change, yeah? It's that fake, synthetic, pathetic, introduced climate that they introduced via these aerosols of component parts of heavy metals and particulates and chemicals. And then it's pulsed and changed. So climate change is real. They introduced the climate, not the weather. And then they change it. And that's it. That's how I see it, folks. You see what I've been showing you? It branches off into these two. And then it's now widened out into all this nonsense. And like I say, once it's pulsed and beam steered with these beamforming technologies and the backscattering, yeah, the heavy metals attached to the molecules, and then it can be moved around like magnetism, folks. That's all it is. It's not even fucking clever. It's very technical, but it's not very fucking clever. And if you can look at the technicalities and see phonetically, if you like, into it, then all of a sudden it becomes fucking perfectly clear what's taking place. Right. I won't get her. She's been off the leash for half an hour now. And people always say to me all the time, how come she's never off the leash? She is. It's just, if we see a pheasant on the lane now, she'll run off. And she'll keep running and running in the hopes that she catches it. And these pheasants shoot through the hedgerows, and she will go through the hedgerows and we won't get her back. So we're just being cautious on the lane here. I'm constantly looking to make sure that there ain't no squirrels, or pheasants, or cats she can chase. She's feasting on the grasses now. Right, shall we get back? Shall we want to see Debbie? So you can see the wind getting up now, folks. You can hear the wind. And it's very scenic. I like the artistry. I like the blueprint, the design of these thorns here, these weapons, this armour, this self-defence mechanism. Everything has the ability to defend itself somehow, folks. Not always successfully, but it's there. And me having the biggest fucking gob on this subject probably is my self-defence. And my self-defence for my grandkids, for my daughters, and for every fucker that sees this for what it is and wants it fucking stopped. I kid ye not.